Good to go? All right. Welcome, everybody, to Season 3, Episode 32 of Motivate Me 313's podcast. We are officially not live, but this show is actually pre-recorded. A couple of quick updates that I want to update you all with. I know originally we had posted that Officer Ahmed would be here today, but she had to work, so she was not able to record this show. Hopefully, we'll have her on a show in the future. But who we do have today is the Hamtramck Police Chief Jamiel Altaheri in the building today. Yes, go ahead and give him a round of applause. Shout out to the chief. He's in the building. We're looking forward to a great show. We also said that this was going to go live, but obviously it's pre-recorded. Unfortunately, the internet is down where we are at, but you'll still be able to get the great show that you want to watch here today. Of course, you got myself, Omar T. Shout out to little big bro Yusuf T in the back on the ones and twos. As always, we appreciate him. To the left of me, you got my sister Abir, and then to the left of her, you got my sister Sara. Looking like they're in their summer vibes going on right now as well. So ready to have this show, inshallah. Looking forward to a great show today. Looking forward to a good conversation. Today's topic is about Muslims in the police force. Abir's giving me that sister look right now. Like,
oh, you made me laugh.
Why?
She's wearing a summer dress. I'm just wearing that bad.
Okay.
But I just went with the flow.
There you go. It's colors. It's purple.
Yeah, okay.
Something. All right. So yeah, with that said, before we continue the show, be sure to follow us on all of our socials. We got YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all under Oz Media. You'll be able to listen to the show on Apple and Spotify podcasts under Oz Media. You know, shout out to the sponsors: the Balkan House, Juice Box, Qahwa House, BC Adhesives, Hanley International Academy, and I believe that's all of them that I mentioned as well. Yes, shout out to all of them. We appreciate them. In the Qahwa House, I've got the Qahwa House, of course. You know, we were just talking about the Qahwa House and how we appreciate them. So shout out to Ibrahim and everyone over there at the Qahwa House. That's the first ad that we're going to run for today, and then we're going to officially get the show on the road. So shout out to the Qahwa House.
You know, if you're ever in need of some coffee, then you have to stop by the best place in the country. You know what that is, Yusuf?
Yeah, man, it's got to be the Qahwa House.
It's definitely the Qahwa House. It's the first Yemeni coffee shop of its kind. You can stop by Qahwa House to try their famous Yemeni lattes, Adani Shahis, Mafawad, and Jubani coffees. You can also stop by to try their delicious pastries, such as the Yemeni favorite sabaya, everything mini bites, and they even serve sambusas. They have locations in Michigan, New Jersey, New York, and Illinois, with more locations coming to a state near you. So no matter where you're at in the country, be sure to stop by Qahwa House and get a glimpse of what the Yemeni culture is all about. Also, don't forget to download the new Qahwa House app. You can now order your coffee and go, skipping the line entirely. It's like having your own personal barista.
All right, so like I said before, you know, we got the chief in the building. First of all, Yusuf, we're going to give him some air horns right quick. First of all, he is the first ever Yemeni-American chief in the United States of America, Yusuf. So let's start off with that, all right? He comes from New York, and I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys all his credentials, but I'm sure he'll be able to do it. But Yusuf, just give him his credentials some air horn as well, man, all right? All right, and overall, great man. Looking forward to a great show today. I mean, that's good with the air horn. Yusuf's ready. We want to do one more, Yusuf, while your finger is on. I mean, you might as well hit it. There you go. All right, so he's in the building today. The chief. What's going on? Talk to us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and maybe if you can, you know, tell us your credentials a little bit and where you're coming from.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me here, man. I feel lightheaded now. You're blowing me up too fast.
Yep.
But, you know, I really, I feel appreciative being here in Hamtramck. Looking forward to serving the people of Hamtramck, you know, all residents. Obviously, it's a very diverse community. Yeah, man, it's good to be here in Oz Media. I've been watching you, you know, a little bit here and there, you know, seeing your sports interviews. And as a, you know, young Yemeni and proud of it myself, you know, I'm very, you know, happy for you. And I wish you all the success and continue doing it. Continue to do what you do.
Appreciate you, man. And I know you probably don't want to touch on this too much as the credentials part, but can you just dive into and tell us what the city of Hamtramck is getting in their new police chief?
Well, with credentials, I mean, look, I started since a young kid. It's all I wanted to do is be a cop. You know, watching TV shows. Back in my day, it was cops and 21 Jump Street and some others. So, you know, I grew up loving those videos and wanted to be a superhero, you know. And then I remember in the third grade, and I always tell people, you know, teachers have a positive influence, can have a real positive influence. And like I mentioned earlier, my sisters, they're all teachers, all four of them. There was one teacher, I'll never forget her name, Miss Stanislaus. She was like, you know, Jamiel, you'll be a great mediator. I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. She said mediator. But there's a new program the federal government was pushing, throughout the, city, urban schools. And really, the objective was to have kids resolve their own and mediate their own problems and fights and stuff like that in school. So I was all right, sure, yeah, I'll be a mediator. So she gave me a blue shirt and a nice shiny whistle. And they gave me a little training. I don't know. He talked to me how to,
Deal with
so
problems.
there goes Jamiel in the playground playing ball, and I see someone fight, and then I blow my whistle.
That was a start.
And I was like, yo, you just get back. Then you learn how to do verbal judo, and you bring them to the side, take them to, in the back, and you start talking to them. And I eventually loved it. And even the kids started getting annoying. They're like, oh, man, Jamiel's here with his whistle. But it was, that's how it started, really, man. And subhanAllah, a couple of years later, now that blue shirt becomes a blue uniform,
Yeah.
And that, it's a beautiful thing. And obviously, like 9/11 hit, and that was a tough time for the Muslim community. And so it was a choice. Do I go with passion? And at that time, there was a lot of, discrimination against Muslims, especially from the police department. There was some lawsuits and stuff like that with surveillance and stuff. So I was, it was a challenging moment for me. And some of my family members wasn't, very encouraging. They were like, I don't know if you should go to that, go into that field. But I'm glad I did, because it's something I wanted to do. It didn't stop me. And that's something I always tell, young brothers and sisters, don't let any barrier. There's always an opposition, obviously, but you can go, you can pass those barriers and just do what you're passionate, what you desire to do, and do it well. And I moved up the ranks. I was undercover for 6 years. Was one of the youngest detective at age 24. I worked, various places. I was a sergeant. I became a sergeant. Worked in a housing bureau, which we patrol housing developments. And then I was drafted into internal affairs, where I investigated police corruption for some time. And then I became a lieutenant, and I was a platoon commander of transit district. So I worked in the transit system, keeping commuters safe. And then from there, they created a new unit in the city of New York. Was the homeless outreach unit, and they wanted to revamp it. So they picked me to lead the way. I was a special operations lieutenant, running a new homeless outreach unit there at that time. And then from there, I was promoted captain. I was the first, one of the Yemeni captains. Very few Arab Muslims at the time that hit that rank. It was a good, exciting moment. Before I got my first precinct, was the 20th precinct, which is Upper West Side, Manhattan. I was selected to go to FBI Academy, and I'm very proud. I actually put in for it 3 times. That's why I say don't give up. I always wanted. That was one of my things I wanted to do with the FBI, and glad to be in the FBI Academy, and it was a great experience. To this day, I have a lot of friends in the federal government and agents and different leaders throughout the nation as well as abroad, and we're still in contact. So one of my greatest experience. Coming back, they say, you know what, you're going to the 23rd precinct. I had the pleasure of serving the people of Upper East Side of Manhattan, which is called Spanish Harlem. Was there for about 3 years, and then I moved to the 32nd precinct. I was the captain there, and that's Central Harlem. And very, a lot of history there, obviously, African-American history, and very proud to serve those residents there. And eventually I was selected to be the commanding officer of the 115 precinct. It was basically the most diverse private precinct in the city. And we also covered LaGuardia Airport. So we had a lot of responsibilities there. It was, very appreciative of the time there, and a lot of good experiences. We were able to bring crime down there and, bring the community and police together. And then from there, I met a deputy commissioner, Wendy Garcia. She came from the comptroller's office. She's from the mayor's office, and she was selected to be deputy commissioner of Office of Equity and Inclusion. We met, and she was like, you'll be a great fit for this position. We need a commanding officer of Office of Equity and Inclusion, and it involves policy, making sure the department is inclusive. Internally, right, and also externally. So I was happy to work for her under her leadership. And then it was about a year, and then I got a call. They said this Hamtramck Police Chief is available. I even spoke to her. She said, you know what, Jimmy, I think you'd be great. You should do it. I mean, you did 20 years here. You could retire, do something different. It was tough because NYPD for me was part of my family. It was part of my identity. I mean, it's nice to retire, but I'm still, I feel like I still want to keep going.
Yeah.
I started, 21. I'm 41, but I would have stayed at NYPD for a long time. But given this opportunity, and then I met the mayor, and I realized this was a good fit. And honestly, I really do respect the mayor. I'm having some conversations with him to feel him out, see what his plans are, and I really and my vision, his vision really aligned together, and I look forward to working, under his leadership, and that's important too. And I always tell people, it's not where you work, it's who you work with. So I commend him for what he's been doing before I got there, and what his plans are going forward. And we look forward to positive change in the city of Hamtramck. And
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. No, great points. Go ahead and give that a round of applause,
Yeah,
man.
mashallah.
Oh, we got that too. There you go. We had to make sure we hit him with a New Yorker right there. That was
we gotta put like Frank Sinatra.
yeah. There you go.
New York.
From everything that you've just said, what was your favorite time working?
Yeah, I think my favorite time was being undercover. It's crazy. I can't go too deep into what I did and how I did it.
Okay.
But I was basically, investigating narcotics. I was undercover officer. I had a different identity.
Wow.
Yeah, you wouldn't know who I
Like
am.
the movies, huh?
Yeah, something like that. But you're really acting, and I always tell you that's real live acting. It's not no stage. It's just, you're playing to be someone else.
So you probably had like a bald head.
Yeah, something like that. I grew my hair out. Depending on what roles I played.
Right.
It was funny because I used to go to these Yemeni stores, and I used to play. Sometimes I had to play a drug addict. Just go in there dressed, a little crazy looking and stuff. And then this guy would come in Yemeni in the store like, "Hada shakil Yemeni, Yemeni."
Oh, how did you not laugh?
I didn't laugh. I'm like, get the hell out of here, man. Yeah, and sometimes it's interesting. But being undercover really humbled me a lot because I got to see the underworld and see what they deal with, especially addicts. And they really, a lot of them are, and I'm being very frank, and they're victims. They're not. And a lot of times we don't see them as such. And playing that role, got to see that different side. And I also got the opportunity to put some really bad people in jail
Nice.
that were, harming people. Obviously, I didn't put them in cuffs because I'm behind the scenes.
Right.
But yeah, that was fun. And then I did Vice. Vice, we did a lot of human trafficking cases and dealing with that. And yeah, I think that was the most fun time. I mean, because you just don't know what you're gonna expect that day.
You were nervous, like you're.
Oh yeah, I remember when I first bought drugs the first time, like it was crack cocaine. I was like, like
I don't want to touch it.
yeah, like, oh, I actually did this, and it's it's all about how you talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not everybody's can do that job.
100%.
It's not something for everybody. It's for people really. You got to know how to talk your way to a lot of things, and you got to be convincing, and you got to play that role, and you got to be careful. It's.
Did you have to take some acting classes before that?
No, it's weird. We took a couple of like undercover training, but no acting.
So let me ask this question. I know between the department, like, did you guys be like, all right, let's see who's the best actor? Like, you have a little competition amongst yourselves, or is that something?
Like, I got this.
Like, be like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
like I can do this, or like they'd be like, hey, Jamiel, you do a great job. We're gonna assign you this one. Like, you knew who the best actor was in the department.
Depends on it's like when you're acting, right? It depends on the set.
Okay.
I mean, there's certain places, it depends on your race, the way you are, the way you look, and so, yeah.
All that
all that comes into consideration. The idea is you have to, make them believe that you're definitely not a law enforcement officer. That's one thing, right? And then you have to be very convincing that and sometimes that requires the way you look, the way you act, but mostly how you talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like I said, it's dangerous.
Because once your cover is blown,
Yeah.
who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah, we had a lot of times where we could have been really bad. I was a couple times I'm locked in a room and they didn't know exactly what I was doing, but they knew it was I wasn't the person I
God.
was. And luckily my team has to break the door in and get me out. But yeah, those are situations you're gonna be involved in. But like I said, it's dangerous, but it was fun. But that's only my 20s. Once my kids started growing, that's when I took the supervisory route.
For sure. Because family is most important.
Yeah.
So funny that you're talking about that peer mediating stuff, because I bet it was a peer mediator as well growing up. I mean, that's her favorite times in elementary
Listen,
school.
I think they should bring it back. Honestly, I think
Yeah.
schools should bring it back.
The elementary school I went to is gone. They don't have.
Nobody does it anymore, to be honest with you.
No one does it anymore.
Yeah.
But we had vests. We didn't have blue shirts.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
wow, look at you guys, cool.
Yeah.
We have blue shirts and yeah.
And then like for us, it was if two girls or two boys had an issue, they would write. So it wasn't like in the we didn't have a whistle where we can like stop them.
Oh okay.
It was they would write like a a slip that says, hey, I'm having this issue with this person, and then we pull them together and have the session.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, they should definitely bring it back.
I think
There's so
so.
many petty arguments with kids, like they don't know how to resolve anything.
I really do believe, yeah. It's probably one of the best programs.
And by the way, the schools in the city of Hamtramck, shout out to Dickinson East Elementary. You know, go ahead and give that a round of applause. You know what I'm saying? Since we're all talking about Hamtramck. Because, you know, we grew up in Hamtramck our whole lives, pretty much. We were,
Awesome.
yeah, you know, I think we were born in Detroit, but then we moved to Hamtramck as soon as she was born, and we were there for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So with that said, keeping things rolling with that, you know, I guess, what do you enjoy the most about working as a police officer? Like, what's one thing that you are like, one thing that, you know, makes you want to wake up every single morning and say, like, yo, I'm proud to put the badge on, but obviously not an officer, but a police chief, just being in the department in general?
Yeah, I think the best part of being, I think, a police officer is really, you have the ability to inspire people, also change people's lives in a positive manner. And for me, you know, going to work every day, knowing that I could do that, it's a very rewarding job, you know.
Yeah.
That to me is very important. Yeah.
And so off of that, like, what makes you most excited? You're coming from a big city like New York. You know what I'm saying? Whichever city you were in New York, a big, you know what I'm saying? And then now you're in Hamtramck.
A 2-mile radius city.
Yeah, like, it's a whole nother vibe. I mean, we've visited New York a few times. It's just, everything
You're a
is,
minority there. Now you're part of the majority.
you know, like, what makes you be like, I'm excited? Like, what makes you look forward to him working in the city of Hamtramck?
Yeah, Hamtramck is special to me because I remember, you know, I came here years back, and then I started running the soccer club with the Yemeni-United, and I used to come out with the kids and used to play some soccer with them. We actually won every time we came, just to make
Put that out there. Who's the other
But now I'm a
coach?
Hamtramck fan, so we changed sides now.
Are you saying New York used to win when
Yeah,
y'all came
yeah,
down? We're gonna have to double
I
check
used to
that.
see all
Man.
the, you know, the Yemeni kids and the restaurants, and I was like, wow, man, that's nice. It was just a thought, really. This was something I wasn't planning on coming here. But I like the fact that, you know, I can see my people in good places, people that look like you, share similar thoughts, ideas. And, you know, it was nice, like it's mentioned, being the majority, going from being a minority your whole life, and then you see, you know, and you go to a community where, you know, the Muslim community is a majority. It's different. It's a different vibe. But I remember being invited to Hamtramck Police Department for a diversity training. So they offered me to give them a course for 2 days. So I was in, this was 2015. Small world, yeah. Some of those guys I spoke to are actually still there.
Mm.
And I remember giving the training, and I realized, like, they really did not know a lot about their own community that they serve. But I was very optimistic, you know, and some of them had a lot of questions to me in the end. And and that stuck to me. Resonated with me, and always had Hamtramck on my mind.
You know, and I want people at home that are going to be watching this to understand that we're speaking at it obviously from a perspective because he's the first ever, and you know, we're not used to being the majority in any city. But one of the things that you've been focusing on as the police chief is making sure that diversity, like everybody's inclusion, you know, everyone's voice is being included. That, you know, no matter who you are, you're going to listen to them and work together. And that's one of the things that you are trying to bring, not just to the department, but to the city of Hamtramck. So can you tell us, like, what's the plans that you have in that? Or, like, talk about that a little bit. Like, what are your goals when it comes to that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's important that the department is inclusive, right? And also they have to act inclusively. So, you know, it's even though I'm, you know, whatever, Yemeni police chief, Muslim police chief, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm an American, and I'm here for everyone, and you know, and we serve everybody, and that's something. When I was the commanding officer of the Office of Equity and Inclusion, we made sure that that we reach everyone, and that we're transparent. You know, and that's something I would look forward to. For the vision of Hamtramck is to be a little more transparent. Even on social media, you know, keeping people updated what's going on when it comes to crime stats. Any issues that we can resolve, and making it open door policy to a point where people can come in, maybe ask a question, and you know, get some answers. And we're looking forward to setting up a police community council, which we have in New York City. We have precinct community councils, but we're going to have basically a council, and we're going to have these meetings every month that we can have everyone. You know, everyone can have a chance to, you know, express their concerns. Yep. It's funny, like, we just started, like, doing a lot of Facebook posts and getting a little more active. And I see the comments, we hear the comments, people are complaining about car thefts. And it's great. I mean, we respond. That's my policy. We respond, we follow up, we keep them updated. It's not just that we want to keep people safe, we want to make sure that people feel safe. And that's just as important.
And their voice is heard.
And voices are heard. Yeah,
So how long have you? Has it been a week since you?
yeah, about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How are you feeling it? Like, how are people friendly? Are people like How is it so far?
Yeah, I'm being a New Yorker and working in big precincts in New York City. I'm used to the critics and and all that. So but that doesn't faze me. It's important. I want to hear the criticism. That's the only thing that's going to make us better as a department and as a city. And then today, actually, officially, I'm just closed on the house in Hamtramck, so I'm a
I was
resident.
literally just gonna
Yeah,
ask that.
I was like, how does that go?
Officially?
Too?
So I'm a
Officially,
resident now. So
as resident.
I'm invested in the safety of Hamtramck, and I have concerns too as a resident.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that's something that Dr. Ghalib, the mayor, I gave my promise to him that I would live in Hamtramck, and I tend to keep that promise. So
Yeah.
so
How was the move for your family?
yeah, it's challenging. Yeah, it can be challenging at times. I think they'll learn to adapt. My older daughter, she's in college, so she won't be coming.
Okay.
She got to finish her school there. She's already like midway. A lot of my whole life is there. My father, my grandparents, aunts, uncles.
It's a quick hour
Yeah, it's not too
plane
bad.
ride.
Not too bad.
But it is hard because just imagine you moving.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly.
I've never.
No, it's a
You
good.
have
But
younger,
it's easier
younger
with the
children?
guys.
Yeah. Oh,
Do you know what school you're gonna put them in yet? Or
we'll see. We're still researching.
Okay. Well, if you ever need.
You're in
I'm in Detroit. I used to
Detroit,
work in
okay,
Hamtramck for
Detroit,
10
okay.
years.
You're
I used to work actually.
Dearborn, Detroit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Dearborn.
Yeah.
But me and Amar used to work in Hamtramck for 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was the gym teacher and athletic director. I was a first grade teacher. And now we just recently, he left and then I went to Dearborn.
That's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to give a shout out to a school in Hamtramck, which is Hanley International Academy. We appreciate them and their support. Yusuf, so go ahead and give them a shout out and give the chief right here a quick break. And then we're going to keep things rolling. So shout out to Hanley International Academy.
Oh, that was a good break.
You know, Yusuf, you seem like a pretty smart man. What elementary/middle school did you get promoted from?
The one and only Hanley International Academy.
Hanley International Academy is a school that treats every student and staff like their own family. It's even in their vision statement, educating your child like our own. Their location is 2400 Denton Street, Hamtramck, Michigan. Their phone number is 313-875-8888. The academics there are great. The athletics there are great. Thank you to the staff and administrators at Hanley for educating our leaders of tomorrow.
All right, we're officially back. So actually, I want to do this because you were making us laugh a little bit. You said that, we were talking about Kahwa House, and you said you knew the owner right quick, man. Can you tell us a little stories? You said that you knew Ibrahim and his Benny.
Yeah, Ibrahim, I met him way back when he started early on. And, I was very impressed, to see Yemen coffee in the house. It's like, wow, that's awesome,
Yeah.
And just, fast forward years later, now look, we're Kahwa House. Even in New York, my own, home.
Does he have
Kahwa
two
House,
locations there or just one? Is it two?
That I know of, he has two.
Okay.
That I've been to.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said,
I
Kahwa
think there's
House,
one that just
know,
opened too.
you don't
Shut
go-
the house.
There's one I think that just
Yeah.
opened.
So a third one or a second one?
believe so.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Yes.
so in Jersey has one in Patterson, which is a really nice spot.
We've
Yeah,
been to
yeah,
there.
it's a
We
really
actually
nice
went to
spot.
that one.
Yeah, it's like near Palestine Street, Crooks Avenue. Really nice.
has all the
place.
good spots there. Al Basha and Mana.
Yep. So you guys know. All right.
It's
So
so
you have-
good. I love that restaurant.
Dinner and coffee right next to each other.
Oh
Really
yeah.
nice.
Oh yeah. Yep.
They have a little the extended places.
It's a nice community there. Yeah, it's called it's Little Palestine over there.
Yeah.
That's what they say over there.
Yeah.
So tell us, again, we don't want to just focus on being, Yemeni or being a Muslim, but this one's more Muslim related. Like, what is it like being a Muslim? Especially like you mentioned a little bit about after, September 11, 2001. Obviously, things hopefully have changed from then till now, growth and a positive effort. But overall, though, what is it like to be a Muslim in the police force?
Yeah, subhanAllah. I remember this, African-American brother. He was retired captain from the New York City Corrections Department, Abdul Jalil. Never forget him. So one day we started, the Muslim Officer Society, so we're having these meetings,
What year was this, by the way?
2005.
Okay.
And how much of you guys was it?
I was very few. We wanted to
Just, be heard, basically.
be heard, create a society that represents us, but and also address those issues, that were concerns that between the Muslim community and the law enforcement, to be that bridge, right? And he said something very unique, and I didn't understand at the moment, right? He's like, Jimmy, he saw me like active. I'm like talking, we gotta get together. We have to educate people, this. It was tough. It was challenging times, especially from 2001 to up to like 2010. It was alhamdulillah, but we made
progress.
Yeah, we made progress. So he said, Jamiel, are you a Muslim officer, or are you an officer that happens to be Muslim? I was like, what do you mean? I had to think about it.
That's a great line.
Yeah, it's like, are you a Muslim officer, or you're an officer that happens to be Muslim? Yeah, so it's, and I always tell people our faith, it's not in conflict with our profession.
Yep.
Because if you really think about it, even in Islam, the Prophet Muhammad said, safety is before faith. If you don't have safety, there's no faith.
And justice.
And justice as well. So yeah, so for me, being a Muslim officer, I think Muslims become better officers because that's what part of our values is, to be caring and kind and to help people, save people. So it's to me, being a Muslim officer, it just empowers me even more.
For sure.
Yeah.
I have a question. This might be like.
She has one of these
So,
each show, so
listen,
be ready.
No, not really. With the protests happening and then people having such aggression towards the Muslim officers that are patrolling those protests, how do you feel about that? Like, is that...
SubhanAllah, I mean, now I'm here after a lot of stuff was happening where I was, exiting, the police department. There's got to be a balance, and... I think, like I said, I have a lot of family members and people in my community that go attend these protests, and they have every right to. I mean, it's freedom of speech. I mean, that's what what this country's about. Just unfortunate sometimes the police clash with the community, and a lot of times you're gonna hear the rhetoric. Like I said, my opinion is, as a police, we have to serve everyone and make sure everyone is safe, and that includes protesters as well. And I wish there was, like I said, that's where Muslim officers can play a big role, being that bridge, as opposed to just, you got them clashing with the cops. There should be someone should be in the middle, mitigating some of these issues. And at the end of the day, if you look at some of these protesters, they're not carrying weapons or knives. They're not harming nobody really. And we dealt with protesters during Black Lives Matter, where there was a lot of issues there, and there was and there's challenges. It's always going to be this challenge, right? But we have to find a common ground between the community and the police, between protesters and the police, and how we engage. I mean, and how do we de-escalate? And that's something. Look forward to working with the Hamtramck officers and how to train them and how to de-escalate a lot of situations. As police officers, we should be going there to de-escalate. When there's rage and there's violence and there's chaos, we should be the ones coming there to cool it down.
For sure.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be like, oh man, the police came. We should be like more.
Yes, the
like,
police
oh
came.
yay,
We're
the
safe.
police came.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's incidents where sometimes, there could be excessive use of force, and those things happen throughout the country. You hear those stories, I mean, and it's up to the leadership to address it,
Yeah.
Two random things I'm about to hit you with right now, because I don't know why you brought up the Facebook post, and I feel like the funniest things is when the police department does social media content to me, whatever it may be, because they're showing a side to them that makes people understand that they're normal people as well. I've been seeing there's been social media posts from other police departments that'd be like hilarious, that would blow up all over social media and stuff, and it brings like the human element into making people understand that these people are normal people too, who are running it. So one of the recent ones that I seen was somebody put a field goal post on top of a police officer's car, and they said new drunk testing, you have to hit a field goal so those that know. And I started cracking up. I was like, man, imagine somebody seeing a dang field goal post on top of a police car and you have to kick a field goal. That would be a messed up situation for them. All right, and then the second thing, going off of that, you mentioned how people comment. So obviously the stereotype is, police doesn't have the greatest reputation in the neighborhoods, okay? How do you expect to help that? How do you expect to address that working in the city of Hamtramck?
Yeah, I think comedy is good, man. I mean, I love comedy. So,
yeah,
and it also, it's a human element, and we want to show people that law enforcement officers are just like you. They have lives, they have homes, they have children, and behind that badge there's a human being, right?
Yeah.
And that's important to show the public that. And sometimes we forget.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
But
So-
I'm big fan of social media, making sure we engage the community.
Yeah.
Many ways possible. Yeah.
And then in general, though, is that the one way that you plan on addressing like the community, the stereotype of like, the imbalance of how, police officers really are to how they are pretty much viewed as the community as well?
Yeah, I mean, public perception is important. And how do you change perception is really by, like you mentioned, those engaging the community, showing them the other side of you. And also creating those positive interactions. A lot of times people only meet the police or engage the police when
They're in
getting
trouble.
stopped or in trouble, right? Only time they meet the police when they're getting a ticket. So we want to change that. We want police officers to meet children, young ages, positive things, playing basketball. Like I mentioned earlier, I think to the mayor that we want to start Explore program for summer, where we have kids join the police department. We go play sports with them. We go to trips. We engage them. We also educate them about this career.
Yeah.
That they could possibly maybe attain to, or So those are important moments for us as law enforcement. We try to take advantage of them, creating more positive interactions.
Now, you were saying earlier about the meetings, the monthly meetings.
Yeah.
Where would they be held? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, so we're working on something even in our police department. We have space that we're trying to organize there, or if not, there's many places, in centers and locations throughout the city of Hamtramck.
For sure.
And if it's a nice day, why not do it outside?
Yes, for sure. That park in the middle too,
Yeah.
as well. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's cute.
But it's important, like I say, it gives people an opportunity, and I can see it. People have concerns. They want to talk to someone, and we want to make sure that their voices are being heard.
Yeah.
And that's the only way we're going to effectively do our job. If I don't communicate with you effectively, I'm not going to know what's really bothering you, what's concerning to you. A lot of these issues that we have, whether it be crime or quality of life issues, don't get reported. So we want to make sure that we address every issue possible.
Did people like warn you about certain issues before you got the
I got a lot of
job, or you wanted the job?
You always get the warnings before the award, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
The warnings comes from different people. You got the warnings from the Hamtramck people.
I feel like it's the
You
tickets.
got the warnings from the New York people.
Parking
About Hamtramck people or Hamtramck,
yeah.
the city of Hamtramck.
And I
You know what I'm
forgot
saying?
to this and
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You got all the you got the warnings from specific groups of people. So you got the Yemeni warnings. You got, you know what I'm saying? You got
And then you got to take everything with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, your experience is different than.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Of course. It's good to listen, but at the end of the day, just go where your heart tells you. Man.
Yeah.
That's important.
No, alhamdulillah, man. And so I guess something, who inspired you, man? Like, was there a person or people that, motivated you to get to where you are today, that you feel like helped you? I know you mentioned the teacher in 3rd grade. Was there anyone else, maybe even throughout the department, that was like a big help for you?
Oh yeah, my uncle Ahmed, he was a detective. He retired a 1st grade detective. He was actually about 2 years before me. He joined the job about 3 years. And then there was Adil al-Muntasir. He's also relative cousin. He's he went to the Marine Corps, and that was a big thing. Very few Yemenis actually went to the Marine Corps, and he encouraged even his brother and some of my family members to join. He was an NYPD cop for a little bit, and then he actually went to the Port Authority, and he retired there. So yeah, Adil Muntasir, my uncle Ahmed, so many other Yemenis, and my father. Obviously, he was very, he wanted me to go into business and maybe be a doctor or a lawyer, but with time, he
Warmed up to that.
he
idea.
warmed up to it, and saw me move up the ranks, and he was a big supporter. Yeah, you always gotta have support, man. Don't believe anyone tells you I got here by myself or I did it alone. No one does anything alone.
No.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. And I guess going off of that one is, you kind of mentioned it right here, that your father wanted you to go somewhere else. So if you weren't a police officer, what would you be doing?
I think I'll be in law. Probably be a lawyer.
I figured.
Law?
I enjoyed law, even though I was thinking about actually going back to law school, but I took a different route. I got my master's in human resource management, and then I'm working on my doctorate degree. So yeah, so
Oh, my bad.
No,
look
my
forward
bad.
to complete that. I'm writing a thesis that actually involves the Muslim community and law enforcement. So
Nice.
Nice.
at a later
Nice.
time we could share that with you. But other than that, yeah, I mean, being a cop, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I would do it again.
Wow.
I mean,
For real?
yeah, with all
That's
those. I
so
look
nice.
back all the experiences and laughs and craziness,
I bet.
I wouldn't change it. Yeah, I wouldn't. It's a beautiful career. I tell people that.
Do you think you were like in a like? How can I say this in a way where it's not, it doesn't sound like too funny, because like I look at your face and I'm like, oh my god, like he's like so nice, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't see you as aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm sure you can be that way.
No, it's interesting because you ever heard of the terminology "good cop, bad cop"?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
was like the good cop. I'm the one that came
See,
in there.
that's what I
You know,
mean.
I got this. Sorry.
De-escalated it.
You got a
Yeah.
little crazy. Yeah, even my boss was like, Jamiel, just take care of this. I got you. Hey, come here, man. And so I was, and also
That's
being
funny.
undercover for 6 years, and also
Yeah.
living in Brooklyn, and I was just telling him earlier, I used to play for varsity team for high school. I was basketball. I was a point guard, believe it or not. I was the Arabic Muggsy Bogues or Sport Webb, but yeah. So playing sports, being around inner city people, and where we live by the project, so. I had a lot of friends that grew up there, and alhamdulillah, I grew up in a very mixed neighborhood. So, man, I had African-American brothers, sisters come to my house. And my mother was illiterate. She nothing. I had friends, even Jewish friends that had to come into my house. So we were exposed to different cultures, and my mother was very welcoming as a young kid. And that's something I think that what made me who I am today.
Yeah, our parents,
Yeah.
man, that's a very important part of that too.
So
Like,
I was exposed to so many different people.
No, believe it or not, Hamtramck, but like in maybe 20 years ago, was literally the whole world in 2 miles. It was very, very diverse. Like even when we went to school, there was only 3 muhajjabats in my school at the time. Believe it or not.
Wow.
So I feel like it definitely shaped the way that we are as well.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's.
And that's the beautiful of our faith, man. That our faith is not a wall.
Yeah.
It's a melting pot.
man. It's a melting
bridge.
pot. It's
I
a
like
beautiful
that.
thing, man. So yeah, that's probably what I can say. What made me who I am. Today, I'm very calm, and I think because a lot of it has to do with being, my mother and father. They were very calm people. They always talk something out.
That's nice.
So you got to find your way to get you out of it.
It's not typical Yemeni.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
Yes, I'm like, that's nice.
Oh, we had some of those. But,
Yeah.
For sure.
The good outweighs the bad.
A group of people that we did get close with in the city of Hamtramck were Bosnian people, and so we want to give a shout out to our next sponsor, which is the Balkan House. So shout out to Juma and everyone there. They definitely are great people, and we look at them like family as well. Before even the sponsorship, like we love them and we appreciate them and all their support, of course. So shout out to Juma, shout out to Hassan and everybody over there at the Balkan House. Yes, all their kids. You got our students that are all at Hanley, so we appreciate them. So Yusuf, shout out to the Balkan House, and we'll keep things rolling.
You know what, Yusuf, man? I'm in the mood for some Balkan food.
Yeah, man, me too.
Well, there's no better place to go for Balkan than the Balkan House restaurant. The Balkan House restaurant is famous for their doner kebab sandwiches. But did you know that the Balkan House now serves breakfast? Did you also know that all their food is 100% halal? There are currently 2 Balkan House locations, one in Hamtramck and one in Ferndale. But they now also have 2 food trucks, so you can book your next party or event with the Balkan House on wheels. If you're looking for a nice place to eat with friendly service and great prices, look no further than the Balkan House restaurant.
All right, we're officially back. Again, shout out to the Balkan House and everybody over there. Great people. We appreciate them and all their support. With that said, keeping things rolling, if you can tell people out there that are listening, do you know yet what are some ways that people that are interested of joining the police force, how can they join the police force?
Yeah, I mean, always say, you can go to any police, department or precinct or district and, ask for an application. Hamtramck Police Department, we're hiring, so anyone that's interested, please come to the, the station house. So we're happy to help you and give you those necessary paperwork that you could start. So we're looking to hire. We're actually looking also for police reserves, those that have other careers that want to, give back to their community. We have also that.
In Hamtramck, do they when you do the police reserve or the academy, what's the process like? Like, do they have to go to a certain amount of classes or?
Obviously it's a shorter version of police officer. They take a few classes and obviously get certified by the Hamtramck Police Department. And obviously when they do go on patrol, there'll be a police officer with them, or at least supervising them, but at least gives them a chance to give back to the community. There's a lot of people that I remember when I was in when I was in NYPD and we have the auxiliary program, and some of them were doctors and lawyers. They just wanted to be cops maybe early in life, but they just did different careers, but they want to still feel and get a chance to go out there and maybe see how it is to answer jobs and calls and respond to things and help their community, their local community, and keep crime down.
For sure.
That's so cool.
No, that is awesome. That is awesome.
Would you ever think about it, Ahmad?
What? Reserve?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Max. So that's what I wanted to do too. I'm happy you said this. 'Cause I wanted to give a shout out to the city of Hamtramck, but I'm gonna do that after this. Max been pushing me. He's the city manager. He's been pushing me to do it.
Really?
Like every random time, like let's say we have a conversation, and then something will come up, and then he'll be like, "By the way, are you ready to sign up for the reserves?" Like he'll just throw it out there, and I start laughing like, "Man, I ain't got time for that right now, man." But I want to, because you want to be.
You're very, very
yeah, it's busy, man. Like I don't want to explain to people, like, because you don't, alhamdulillah for everything, but I really don't have time for that. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I do want to do it eventually. It's just good to have the experience that you get, the training that you get. It's good to just have that with you, especially being a protector of your family. You know what I'm saying? It's just good to know that kind of stuff. But speaking of Max, I want to give a shout out to the city of Hamtramck because they are doing a great job with everything. Overall, they are trying their best to be more diverse when it comes to being employees, the inclusion. You see the growth in the city. Shout out to every single department. I was about to give shout out to names, but I don't want to do that because then you're going to forget somebody and somebody's going to say, how come you ain't saying my name? But everybody in the city of Hamtramck, even from the police department to the fire department, now that I work there and I see it with my own two eyes, these people are working. They're working. And trust me, if they're not working, they're looking into moving on and getting somebody that's going to get in there and put in the work. So that's why I got to give them respect to all of them that are there, all the departments. They're doing their best to be the best that they can. And inshallah, nothing but great things in the future, with having you there as well. So I'm looking forward to that. So kudos to everybody in the city of Hamtramck. You know who you are. If you're hearing this, you know who I'm talking about. With that said, going back to you, Chief, is advice time. Like, what advice do you have for any, let's say, minority out there who wants to take on leadership positions but may not be, ready to do that? What advice would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, is this law enforcement or just
anything? Any minority that wants to take on a leadership position?
Yeah, it's important that they do so because a lot of times, as certain minority groups, we complain why we're not getting this service and that service. So you have to take the lead sometime. And the reality is a lot of times you don't get those resources without speaking out. And so you have to learn, get used to speaking out. And that's a lot of times, unfortunately, that's the only way things do change. Is people do speak out. And but also, whatever profession you do go to, I always tell even my kids and stuff, make sure you have the passion for it. Because once you have the passion, it's not just a job. It's just becomes a part of your life. And you want to go to work, and you're going to succeed, and you're going to grow naturally. Because you're in love with this profession. You like what you do. So that's important, first of all.
Yeah. I like that. Yusuf, I want to give that a round of applause. You got to be passionate about what you do. I agree with that 100%. Sisters, what y'all got for us? Any final comments, final words with us right quick? Anything that you'd like to mention or throw out there? And maybe even you right quick, maybe I want to ask you this. Like, what do you want to see from the residents? Like, what do you want to see from the residents now that you're in the city? Obviously you kind of hear what they want to see from you, but what do you want to see from the residents?
Yeah, and I really see it already just by visiting a few places, restaurants, and some local areas and talking to the people. I hear the concerns, and that's what I want to see. I just want to see, you have a voice here in the Hamtramck Police Department, so speak up, let us know what's going on in your community. Like I said, I'm a resident now, I live here, so you'll be seeing me walking down the streets. I'm just as invested in you, in the safety of the city of Hamtramck and its residents. And like you mentioned about the city workers, everybody's doing a great job, and I'm not saying this just because I work there. I really do a lot of great work going on in the city of Hamtramck. And I give a big shout out to the police department there. And I went out with them the first search warrant, my second day. They were going out. I said, what, let me go out with y'all. I'm going to see this New York style, Maybe like, let me see how y'all do search warrants. Let me tell you, they did a great job. I was impressed. These guys were sharp, and women. Amazing. Men and women there, they do a great job. And we got the individual that we wanted safely. There was some issues there. There was dogs. There was a lot of chaos going on. But I'm glad everybody, they did a great job. And the way they handled themselves very professionally, I'm very impressed. There's a lot of good things going on. We just look forward to just making this good department even more better department, and making sure that the Hamtramck Police Department is not only doing their job, but also a respectful profession, and put them on the map, and making sure.
All this happening when we leave, huh?
The same thing, but Hamtramck will always be special, and I'm glad that it's in the trajectory to do amazing things for sure.
Yeah, all the leaders are so optimistic and really passionate, so it's really nice to know that.
Yeah, and I said, and the city manager Max, he busts my chops a lot. He's always calling me, but he's an amazing guy, and I'm very proud to work under him. And he really does care, and he calls me different times of the day, so he does care about his community. I think he was telling me he grew up there. He's invested in that community, and like I said, the mayor, mashallah, I think he's the best thing that ever happened to Hamtramck in a long time. I think with time, people that may have their misconceptions, maybe misunderstandings of him, or I say to them, give him a shot. You'll see, and then we look forward. And like I said, Hamtramck is for everyone. It's not just Yemeni, Bengali, Polish. It's for everybody. It's for Bosnian, Albanian, everybody. This Hamtramck is a city, like you said, that represents everyone. We want to make sure the department that I serve treats everyone fairly and equally and in an inclusive manner. That's more important.
Another round of applause.
Another round of applause for sure.
Thank you so much for coming on.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, this guy, we just came on board, and alhamdulillah, we were able to get him on the show. We appreciate you for coming on, and I doubled down.
You guys work in the same building?
Yeah.
So you got to show him around.
Yeah.
Like the city?
Yeah.
Of course, anytime he want.
And support, like I said, Oz
Media.
I said, I'm not going to get it. I said, what's
You can say OZ Media too if you want. But no, I appreciate you, man. Listen,
all Wizard of Oz. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So my friend's last name starts with a Z.
I love it, man.
So that's he does a little bit of fashion, and that's the logo is pretty much the logo of his. So obviously my name starts with the O. So, but with that said, shout out to my man, the chief right here, Chief Jamiel in the building. Listen, when he came the first day that it was his what is it called? What is it?
Inauguration.
Inauguration? Is that the word? Ceremony. Whatever it's called, inauguration. It was like why are you laughing?
Because whatever it's called.
No, I was like, what specific? I feel like inauguration.
No,
like
it is, or a ceremony. Yeah, like you said.
But long story short,
we get it.
Yeah, hey, it was like a Yemeni wedding. I thought,
God.
I thought there was some dev kit about to go down and everything, and I thought that
the beeps and stuff.
It was funny, man. Hey, listen, that's why it's hilarious, but we're proud, for you, and not just for the fact that you being Yemeni, man. For you being a great representative to represent the city, to represent the police force. So we're looking forward to this. Looking forward to the future work that we'll have, inshallah, together, that we can accomplish and just make the city as safe and as a great of a city that it can be, inshallah. But with that said, be sure to follow us on all of our socials: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all under Oz Media. You'll be able to listen to the show on Apple and Spotify podcasts under Oz Media. Shout out to the sponsors: B-Sid Adhesives, The Balkan House, Qahwa House, Juice Box, Hanley International Academy. We appreciate them and all their support, and the Balkan House. We appreciate those businesses, of course. We appreciate the chief for coming in. Any final words, final comments you want to just say? You want to close out the show? Anything, any last minute things, man?
I appreciate you for having me. And like I said, I'm always here for you. And I just wanted just a little message to the Yemeni community and all those that are proud, to see me in Hamtramck as the first Yemeni, Muslim, and Arab. That's great. But just remember, just be part of that larger community. Don't forget the other brothers and sisters and your neighbors. And it's not just about being Yemeni, Muslim, Arab, but being human first. Mm-hmm. So, and I look forward to serving Hamtramck, man. And it's nice to see a young brother here. I'm going to challenge you for some ball, man. I know it's got some skills that want to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see.
I'm
Our
41
family-
now, but
our
I guess
family
I
all
can still
plays.
join.
Why is he
All right.
smirking? Why is he
All
smirking
right.
over there?
The challenge is on, and I remember the Hamtramck versus Dearborn. Man, I wish I was here.
Yeah.
During that time.
And then Dearborn got us back to back
So
times.
we're working on getting there. All right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's something we can work
That's
on.
our goal. That's our goal,
right.
man. With that said, appreciate you, Chief. Sada, Abid, Yusuf in the back. Thank you all for watching. Sorry that we couldn't go live. Obviously, stuff happens, but we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you all next time. Have a good day.